Hi everyone, today I'd like to show you the easiest way to dynamically change your material's properties at runtime in Unreal Engine 5. By the end of this video you'll have a working blueprint prototype and an extended C++ version that you can see right now. As you can see, I'm using a standard third-person template and we have three values. We have actor color, we can select any color we'd like, but let's stick to pink for now. Then we have emission, we can create this cool glow effect. And finally we got actor opacity, we can change the opacity so the object will be more transparent. And additionally I've included a convenient button to reset the values back to their defaults. So we can click and it's back to defaults. Okay, let's start from creating the material. For this just select material here and give it some name. In our case it's gonna be example 2. Then we have to change blend mode from opaque to translucent. We're gonna need this because we are using opacity. Then we will need to vector parameter and give it color name. Actually this name is very important because we're gonna set and change value dynamically based on this name, so don't forget it. And connect it to the base color. Then we can multiply it by another parameter, but in this time it's gonna be scalar and it's gonna be emissiveness. So we can connect it and connect with emission. Finally we need the last parameter, again scalar, and call it opaque. It's gonna be our opacity. And by default it should be 1, otherwise we won't be able to see the preview. And that's basically it what has to be done in this material. Now we are ready to use our material inside blueprint actors. And here I got a simple blueprint actor with static mesh component as a root. I only changed its scale a bit and I set our material inside element 0. So you just click here and find your material. And I also got three properties. First one is linear color for color and two float for emission and opacity. All logic is happened inside begin play. First of all I get our material from static mesh and we specify index here. This index basically the material index because we only got one material, it has 0 index by default, so we basically get this material. Then we create dynamic material based on this material and set our parameters. Remember I was talking about of importance of the naming inside parameter names, so now we are using this name to set our values. See, this color matches with this parameter name. It's very important, otherwise it won't work. And we got the same nodes, but we instead set vector, we set scalar parameters for emission and opacity. And finally we set our new dynamic material to static mesh, again to element index 0. And that's basically it. We can press compile and test it inside the game. And as you can see it is updated, it has green color and we can ensure it by changing green, for example, from green to, let's say, yellow. Press compile again and now it is yellow. So it is very easy to set up dynamic materials inside Unreal Engine. Now we can discuss our C++ extended version. Here I got the simple actor with constructor, post-edit change property. This is very useful method. We are using it for runtime updating values. For example, we can change this value and it will immediately update. It happens because of this method. And because it works only inside editor, we have to mark it with this define. Then we have begin play. Then we have another editor specific feature. This method basically this button, so reset to default, and because we are using new function with colon editor, editor will create this button for us, so it's very easy to create those buttons. But those buttons work only per instance, so it works only when we drag something inside this scene. So if we open Blueprint, we won't be able to see this button here because it's not an instance. Then we have three properties: one root component, dynamic material, and one simple method for updating material. So we create our root inside constructor. Then begin play is very similar to Blueprint version. We create material, we get material, then we create dynamic material, and then we set this dynamic material to the root mesh component, and we update the material. Inside update material, we check if we have valid material. We set again this color, emission, and opacity, so very similar. Then we set to default, just set color to some default value, emission to 0, and opacity to 1. And again we are calling update material here. And this post-edit change property, we basically check if property that was updated equal our color, emission, or opacity, we update the material. So whenever we change something, this will be called. So we can put a breakpoint here and change, and as you can see, it triggers. So very useful thing. And I guess that's it, and everything what I wanted to show you. I hope it was useful for you and you can use it inside your project. See you in next tutorial.